Are we on? Welcome back to Galactic the True Story Scary Animations Part 3. Ooh, I got some goosebumps. Little Lego girl.
Who do you see? You see a Christ. You see a little young fighter, a mother, a miracle. Everybody needs you to. Now you can join the Lion Tribe too and have fun making your own Lion King furry friends.
Hashtag Build Bear.
Far left end. One summer day, my friend said he was alone and didn't have any plans. So we called two of our friends and had a drinking party. The four of us had been drinking since the early evening, and just before passing out, we all lied on the floor, turned the lights off, and started talking. While talking to each other, a beam of street light entered through the window and was shining on the ceiling.
Anyways, guys, I
guess the street lights on the first floor of the apartment complex were on. Of course, we were talking while gazing at the ceiling.
So yeah, guys,
all of a sudden, the white ceiling turned black, as if something covered up the light. At that moment, we looked out the window while crouching down. Someone with a creepy vibe was hanging on a steel bar outside the window. Since the light was shining from behind that person, we could not see his face clearly. Then, after making an unidentifiable gesture, he smiled, showing his white teeth without making a sound. We were so shocked at that moment that we stopped talking and were frozen with silence. Suddenly, one of us picked up an empty bottle of wine and ran toward the window shouting, "Kill that bastard!" But the creepy guy had disappeared. After a few minutes, we went out of the apartment to see where he had gone, but we could not find him. We could only hear his stomping footsteps and assumed he entered the corridor and went down the stairs. Going down the stairs is the only way that stomping sound could be made. It sounded like he descended to the first floor and was walking around. So we followed down the stairs looking for him, but quickly returned to the apartment, still filled with fear. At first, we thought it must have been a robber or some crazy guy laughing in front of the window. But when we came back to our friend's house, we were all shocked. The distance between the end of the corridor and the window of our friend's apartment was too long for someone hanging onto the steel window bar to jump across. Only a crazy person would try and fall to their death. Ordinary people can't even hold on to the steel bar. We thought that maybe someone had committed suicide by jumping from the roof of the apartment and cut the steel bar while falling. So we went down to the first floor to see if a body was there.
My favorite superhero.
But there wasn't a single trace.
My favorite superhero is Spider-Man. I hate spiders.
After that experience,
it's Venom. It's Venom and the lizard. It's the lizard, but with the symbiote.
I am a 19-year-old male, and this happened many years ago when I was very young. To give you an idea of the layout of our house back then, the living room has multiple windows that directly look out onto the back garden. There's a big gate in our driveway to stop anyone from getting in. Next to the living room is the kitchen, which also has more windows, but also the back door. This will be relevant to the story. So my mother was completing the household chores as she does one day. I was sitting in the living room watching television on the sofa with my back to the living room windows. All of a sudden, I saw a figure reflecting off of the picture frame hanging on the wall opposite the window. I asked my mom if my dad was back from work, to which she said no. I'll never ever forget the look of horror on her face when I told her that yes, he was. He's in the garden. She looked outside the window and almost had a heart attack when she saw a scruffy-looking but fairly built man asked him what he was doing on our property. He said nothing, with the same sadistic smirk on his face. She said that she was going to call the police, and what he said is one of the scariest things I've ever heard. He screamed at my mother through the glass that if she even got her phone out, that he would break the glass. She did not know what to do. She paused and tried to rapidly think of what to do next, how to keep us both safe. She wanted to protect me by calling the police, but she also didn't want him to hurt me if she did try to call them.
I'll be right back. I need to get protection.
This is Chetubecha saying I'm losing my mind.
Chetubecha would be on the outskirts of town 3 days in a row.
This is watchdog reporter Chetubecha on the outskirts of town for my 3rd day in a row. I'm here at the Outskirts Steakhouse, where patrons are mysteriously falling asleep. In unrelated and possibly imaginary news, a beaver bull has just been spotted chasing an alien spaceship. Did anyone else see that, or am I completely lost it? No, man, I saw it too. Thank you, talking dog. Talking dog? Quick, get a shot of it! Turn around! Hurry, man! There's no dog, man. This is Chetubecha saying it's official. I've gone cuckoo. Up next, an in-depth interview with this.
Well, dear Army, I officially have lost my Nerf Fortnite pistol. So, guys, we're screwed.
As soon as he saw that she was terrified, he ran for the back door. Luckily, it was locked because my mom has always been a paranoid person, so she always locks the doors. He screamed at her to let him in, or if she didn't, he'd find a way in and kill us both. My mother told him to fuck off, which enraged him, and he pulled out a pocket knife and began bashing hard against the windows. I was still oblivious to what was happening, as I just thought I was my dad. I was very young. My mom frantically grabbed me, and I don't mean picked me up. She literally grabbed me off the sofa and booked it up the stairs. We were backing up in the upstairs hallway, looking for anywhere to hide, when my mom's younger brother popped out of his room with his headphones on. My mom didn't even realize he was home, and he clearly didn't hear the commotion downstairs because of his headphones. My uncle was 25 at the time and was really well built. He's intimidated a lot of people. My mom cried and told him that there's a guy who's trying to break in. While she's telling him this, that creepy lunatic screamed from downstairs that he was in the house. He said cynically, "Boogeyman is coming out to get you," which really freaked me out. It freaked me out so much that I actually remember that to this day. Anyway, since the guy didn't know my uncle was home, he kept yelling and telling us to come out and that it wouldn't be painful. My uncle told us to lock ourselves in the bathroom and call the police. We did, and after 5 minutes of groaning and blatant violence downstairs, the police stormed in and found the guy bloodied and my uncle on top of him, beating him mercilessly. My uncle really didn't hold back. Turns out that he was a known pedophile, which is why he was watching me for so long while I was watching TV. After that day, my mom was terrified to be home alone at the house. I loved it as a child because I found the running and hiding fun, obviously because I was young. I can never thank my uncle enough for being there at the right time when my mother clearly forgot that he was still home. It honestly gives me chills, wondering what he would have done to my mother and myself if my uncle was not there.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Cosmo. No, I always think you left the that little Missy.
Alright, we're done now. Guys, get yourself a comfy gaming chair. Don't get one that's like a bar stool.
I work at a pizza joint in Chicago, and I unfortunately have the shitty responsibility of delivering pizzas, usually on the weekends, and usually at night. I've asked my boss for day shifts, but she seems to ignore my requests. Give me whatever shifts I don't want the most. I know being a pizza delivery man is somewhat of a dangerous job, but I never imagined anything like what happened to me a few months ago could actually happen. There is this one customer that always calls in and acts strange as hell on the phone. Sometimes he will just hang up on you. Sometimes he'll order pizzas normally, but make crazy sounds while he does, and then hang up. We've always thought this guy was just an idiot playing pranks. He would make really weird comments too, like, I want to order a large pizza with pineapples, mustard, and your skin. I'll never forget that one. We usually just hang up on his ass now, and we always know it's him calling because his number is saved.
That's how you treat your card. I honestly don't want to complete this one because we've gotten two of the CUSS words. Sorry, that was we gotten two of the CUSS words, and those are the first CUSS words on this YouTube channel, guys. Oh no, I'm sorry, guys, but if you want to see me continue this, we have to get at least 25 likes on this video. Sorry, guys. Well, peace.